High above, soaring on thermal currents, a majestic eagle scans the landscape below. Its eyes, sharper than any lens, are locked onto a target. Down on the sun-baked earth, a formidable snake slithers through the undergrowth, a master of camouflage and ambush. This isn't just a random encounter. It's a clash of titans, a primal drama that has played out for millennia. The Sky Lord versus the Earth Serpent, who will emerge victorious in this ultimate test of survival. The eagle begins its descent. It's a breathtaking sight. Wings tucked in, it transforms into a living projectile hurtling towards the ground at incredible speeds. The wind whistles past its feathers as it calculates the perfect angle of attack. The snake, sensing the shift in air pressure, the faint shadow growing larger, coils itself instinctively. Its forked tongue darts out, tasting the air, gathering information on the impending threat. It's a tense moment, the calm before the storm. The snake's muscles bunch, ready to strike with lightning speed. The eagle's talons, sharp as surgical steel, are open and ready to seize their prey. The impact is explosive. The eagle hits the ground with astonishing force, its primary goal to pin the snake's head. This is the most critical move. If it fails, the snake can easily twist around and deliver a venomous bite. The eagle's talons sink deep, grappling with the muscular, writhing body of the snake. But this serpent is no easy meal. It's a powerful constrictor, and it immediately begins its counter. It wraps its long, powerful body around the eagle, squeezing with immense pressure. Now, the battle has truly begun. It's a test of strength against strength, strategy against raw power. The eagle is now in a perilous situation. The snake's coils tighten, restricting the bird's ability to breathe and move. You can see the strain on the eagle's face as it fights to maintain its grip. It uses its powerful beak, a secondary weapon, to peck and tear at the snake's body, trying to inflict enough pain to make it loosen its hold. The snake, in turn, thrashes wildly, trying to dislodge the talons and get its head free for a decisive strike. It's a chaotic, desperate dance of life and death. The eagle has the advantage of its sharp talons and beak, but the snake has the terrifying power of constriction on its side. Realizing the danger of being grounded, the eagle makes a bold and risky move. It must get back into its own element, the sky. With a mighty heave and a powerful beat of its wings, it attempts to lift off. Imagine the sheer strength required to lift not only its own body weight, but also the weight of a large, struggling snake wrapped around it. Dust and leaves fly everywhere as the eagle strains against gravity. The snake's grip makes liftoff almost impossible, but the eagle is relentless. It knows that if it can get airborne, the dynamic of the fight will change completely. With a final, desperate surge of power, the eagle achieves lift. It's a wobbly, unstable ascent, the snake's weight acting like a chaotic anchor. But they are airborne. Now, the eagle has the advantage. It can use altitude and gravity to its favor. The snake, out of its natural environment, is now vulnerable. It continues to squeeze, but its position is precarious. The eagle soars higher and higher, the world shrinking below them. This change in environment is a strategic masterstroke by the eagle, turning the tables in this incredible fight. High in the sky, the eagle has more options. It can try to bash the snake against rocks or trees, but the most effective strategy is a terrifying high-stakes maneuver. The eagle might suddenly drop the snake from a great height. This is a gamble. If the drop doesn't incapacitate the snake, the eagle will have lost its meal and wasted precious energy. But if it works, the impact with the ground will be enough to stun or kill the snake, allowing the eagle to descend and claim its prize without further struggle. The eagle circles, gaining altitude, its decision hanging in the balance. The snake is still fighting, still constricting, but its efforts are becoming weaker. The struggle, the altitude, and the wounds from the eagle's beak are taking their toll. The eagle, sensing this, tightens its grip. It's not going to drop its hard-won meal. Instead, it adjusts its hold, using its incredible talon strength to crush the snake's spine. The battle in the sky is less about constriction and more about a targeted, deadly grip. The eagle positions the snake midair, ensuring it can't launch and applies relentless, lethal pressure. The snake's struggles finally cease. The great serpent goes limp in the eagle's grasp. Victory. The eagle, though exhausted and battered, has won. It flies, not to a high cliff to drop its prey, but towards its nest. It carries its prize, a testament to its strength, skill, and unwavering determination. This male will feed its young, ensuring the continuation of its own lineage. The flight back is a victory lap, a silent proclamation of its dominance over the sky and the land below. What we've just witnessed is a raw, unfiltered glimpse into the circle of life. It's a brutal, yet magnificent display of nature's power. The eagle and the snake are both incredible survivors, perfectly adapted to their worlds. In this encounter, the eagle's aerial prowess and strategic thinking overcame the snake's terrestrial power and deadly defenses. It's a powerful reminder that in the wild, every single day is a fight for survival, and only the strongest and the smartest prevail. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you were as amazed as we are, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing wildlife encounters. In one corner, we have the undisputed king of the skies, the majestic eagle, a symbol of power and freedom, with a wingspan that can stretch over 7 feet and talons as sharp as surgical steel. In the other corner, a creature often overlooked, the humble field mouse, small, quick, and usually on the menu for just about every predator out there. You might think this is an open and shut case, a foregone conclusion. But nature, my friends, is full of surprises. So, grab your popcorn, because you're about to witness a showdown that will redefine your understanding of courage and survival. Our story begins on a sun-drenched afternoon in the vast, open plains. High above, our eagle, let's call him Apex, is soaring on thermal up. His eyesight is legendary, capable of spotting a rabbit from over 2 miles away. Today, however, his gaze is fixed on something much smaller, a tiny flicker of movement in the golden grass below. Down on the ground, a small field mouse, we'll name him Pip, is scurrying about his day. His world is a maze of tall grass and wildflowers, a place of both abundance and constant danger. Pippy's searching for seeds, his tiny nose twitching, completely unaware of the shadows circling high above him. Apex has locked on. With a slight adjustment of his wings, he tips into a dive. This is a move he's practiced thousands of times. A textbook stoop. He folds his wings, transforming into a feathered missile, accelerating 2 speeds over 100 miles per hour. The wind whistles past his streamlined body. For the prey below, this descent is often the last thing they never see. The world becomes a blur of green and gold for Apex, his entire being focused on that one tiny point of life. Pip, however, has an advantage Apex doesn't account for. A lifetime of being hunted has honed his senses to a razor-edge. Just as Apex is about to make contact, a subtle shift in the wind, a change in the light, a whisper of sound, something alerts Pip. He doesn't look up. There's no time. Instinct takes over. In a flash, he darts sideways, a blur of brown fur disappearing into a thick clump of grass. Apex's talons slam into the earth, just inches from where Pip was. A millisecond before, he kicks up a cloud of dust and frustration. A miss. For a predator like Apex, a miss is not just a lost meal. It's a blow to his pride. He screeches in annoyance, his sharp call echoing across the plains. He circles back up, regaining altitude, but his eyes are now fiercely glued to that patch of grass. This is no longer just about hunger. It's personal. Down below, Pip's heart is hammering against his ribs. He's safe for the moment, hidden beneath a canopy of dense vegetation. He can hear the eagle's frustrated cries, and he knows he's been spotted. The game has changed. This isn't a random hunt anymore. The eagle knows he's here. Most creatures would freeze, paralyzed by fear, hoping the danger. But Pip is a survivor. He knows that staying put is a death sentence. The eagle will simply wait him out or tear the grass apart. He needs a plan. He needs to move. His beady black eyes scanned his surroundings, not in panic, but with a calculated desperation. He needs to get to the old stone wall, about 30 feet away. It's a fortress of cracks and crevices. A sanctuary the eagle can't possibly breach. Up above, apex, is a picture of focused patience. He glides in a lazy circle, his head cocked, watching, waiting. He knows the mouse has to move eventually. He can see the grass rustle slightly as Pip prepares for his next move. Apex adjusts his position, anticipating the mouse's escape route. He's learning. He underestimated his opponent once. He won't do it again. The tension is palpable. The entire plane seems to hold its breath. It's a silent chess match, a battle of wits between two masters of their respective domains, the Sky Lord and the Earth Dweller. Then, the break. Pip makes a run for it. He doesn't sprint in a straight line. That would be suicide. He zigs and zags, using every tiny dip in the terrain, every wildflower, every small stone as momentary cover. He's a tiny, furry blur, a master of evasion. Instantly, Apex dives again. This time, he's faster, more determined. He anticipates Pip's zig with a zag of his own, his shadow engulfing the small mouse. It seems like this is it. There's nowhere left to run. Pip is in the open, the stone wall still a few feet away. It's an impossible distance. But Pip has one last trick up his sleeve. Just as Apex's shadow falls over him, Pip does the unthinkable. Instead of trying to outrun the attack, he turns and faces it. As the eagle's massive talons descend, Pip leaps straight up. It's a move of pure, unadulterated audacity. He's not just dodging, he's confronting. His tiny body, no bigger than the eagle's foot, collides with the eagle's feathered leg. It's not enough to hurt Apex, not even close, but it's enough to surprise him. The sudden, unexpected contact throws the eagle's precision strike off by a fraction of an inch. Apex's talons close on empty air, his momentum carrying him forward. That split second is all Pip needs. While Apex is momentarily off balance, recovering from the surprise and the failed strike, Pip scrambles the last few feet. He dives into a narrow crack in the old stone wall, disappearing into the darkness and safety of the labyrinth within. He's made it. He's alive. Apex lands heavily near the wall, his pride wounded far more than his leg. He opes around, peering into the crack, screeching in pure fury. He can smell the mouse. He knows he's right there, but he's powerless. The fortress is impregnable. His size and power, his greatest assets, are now his greatest limitations. For several minutes, Apex paces, stabbing his beak uselessly at the stones. But eventually, he must accept defeat. With one last long, frustrated cry, he launches himself back into the sky, leaving the stone wall and its unlikely champion behind. Down in the cool, dark crevice, Pip catches his breath. He survived. He faced the king of the skies and won, not through strength, but through intelligence, courage, and an unshakable will to live. He showed us that size is not a measure of strength, and that even the smallest among us can triumph against overwhelming odds. What an absolutely breathtaking encounter. It's a powerful reminder that in the wild, every single day is a test, and survival belongs to the clever and the brave, regardless of their size. It's stories like these that make studying the natural world so endlessly fascinating. Let's call her Sky. Sky is a magnificent golden eagle, a true apex predator. Her eyesight is legendary, capable of spotting a rabbit from miles away. Her talons are like grappling hooks, and her beak is a razor-sharp tool of the trade. For Sky, the farm below is just a part of her vast territory, a potential buffet laid out on a green tablecloth. On this particular day, the sun was high, and the air was warm. Sky was feeling the pangs of hunger. As she soireed, her incredible eyes scanned the landscape below. She spotted the movement of the chickens, a flurry of white and brown dots against the green pasture. An easy meal, she thought. It was a calculation she had made 100 times before. A quick, decisive dive, a grab, and she'd be back to her nest with dinner. She began her descent, folding her wings slightly to transform from a graceful glider into a feathered missile. Down on the farm, the chickens were blissfully unaware. They were busy chasing a grasshopper, clucking with excitement. All except one. Rocky, perched on his favorite fence post, felt a change in the air. A shadow, fleeting but ominous, flickered across the ground. He looked up, his sharp eyes scanning the sky. And then he saw it a dark shape, growing larger and larger, plummeting towards his flock. Instinct, pure, raw, and protective, kicked in. Rocky let out a piercing alarm crow, a sound that cut through the peaceful farm noise like a siren. The hens scattered in a panic, running for the safety of the coop. But Rocky didn't run. He stood his ground. He puffed up his feathers, making himself look twice his size, lowered his head, and faced the incoming threat. Sky was just moments from her target, a hen that was a little slower than the rest. She had her eyes locked, talons extended, ready for the grab. She didn't even register the rooster at first. To her, he was just another part of the scenery. That was her first mistake. Just as Sky was about to snatch her prey, a blur of red and brown shot out from the side. It was Rocky. He launched himself into the air with a powerful beat of his wings. Not high, but directly into the eagle's path. He met the descending predator head-on, a feathered cannonball of fury. The collision was shocking. Feathers flew everywhere. Sky, completely taken by surprise, was knocked off course. She had expected a fleeing, helpless target, not an airborne battering ram. She let out a shriek of surprise and anger, pulling up from her dive and circling to reassess the situation. What just happened? A chicken, a lowly ground bird, had just attacked her. Her, the queen of the sky. Her predatory pride was wounded. This was no longer just about food. It was about dominance. Rocky landed, stumbled a bit, but quickly regained his footing. He didn't back down. He faced the circling eagle, letting out a defiant series of crows, challenging her. It was a clear message. You are not welcome here. This is my flock, my home, and you'll have to go through me. The other farm animals, the cows, the sheep, even the lazy old farm dog, all stopped what they were doing. They watched in stunned silence. This was a spectacle unlike any they had ever seen. A rooster was squaring off against a golden eagle. Sky accepted the challenge. She circled once more, then dived again. But this time, her target was Rocky. She was faster, more agile in the air, a master of aerial combat. But Rocky had the home field advantage. He knew every nook and cranny of the farmyard. As Sky swooped in, talons ready, Rocky didn't try to fly up to meet her. Instead, he dodged, using a short, powerful burst of flight to dart under a low-hanging branch of an old oak tree. Sky, forced to pull up to avoid a collision with the tree, screeched in frustration. This became the pattern of their battle. Sky would dive, a blur of deadly grace, and Rocky would use his knowledge of the terrain to his advantage. He'd dart behind the woodpile, scramble under the rusty old tractor, and weave through the legs of the startled cows. He was turning the farm into a three-dimensional obstacle course. He wasn't just defending. He was fighting smart. During one pass, Sky almost had him. Her talons grazed his back, tearing away a spray of feathers. Rocky tumbled, but rolled and came up fighting, his own sharp spurs on full display. He wasn't just a defensive player. He had weapons of his own. As Sky came in low for another pass, Rocky timed it perfectly. He jumped, kicking out with his spurred legs. He managed to connect, striking Sky's leg. It wasn't a deep wound, but it was painful and, more importantly, shocking. The prey had fought back and drawn blood. Sky landed a short distance away, shaking her head as if to clear it. She looked at the rooster, really looked at him, for the first time. This wasn't just a chicken. This was a warrior. He was battered, missing feathers, and clearly exhausted, but his spirit was unbroken. His eyes burned with a fierce, protective fire. The standoff continued. Neither was willing to give up. Sky was driven by hunger and predatory instinct. Rocky by a powerful, primal need to protect his family. He continued to crow, his voice growing hoarse, a constant challenge broadcast across the battlefield. Sky, in return, answered with her own piercing cries. It was a dramatic conversation of survival, but the fight was taking its toll on both of them. Sky was an endurance hunter, but these short, intense bursts of failed attacks were draining her energy. She was used to quick, efficient kills, not a prolonged war of attrition with a creature that refused to follow the rules of predator and prey. Raki was even more exhausted. His body ached, and he was bleeding from several shallow cuts. But every time he glanced towards the coop, where his flock was huddled in fear, his resolve hardened. Finally, something shifted. Sky took to the air one last time, circling high above the farm. Raki stood his ground below, watching her every move, ready for the next onslaught. But the attack never came. Sky circled and circled, then with a final, lingering look at the defiant rooster below, she tilted her wings and caught a thermal updraft. She began to climb, higher and higher, until she was just a speck in the vast blue sky. Then she turned and flew away, back towards the mountains. She had given up. The rooster had won. A moment of stunned silence fell over the farmyard. Then a tentative cluck came from the coop. Then another. Slowly, the hens emerged, cautiously looking around. They saw Raki standing tall, battered but victorious. A wave of triumphant clucking and crowing erupted across the farm. The cows mooed their approval. The sheep bad. Raki, breathing heavily, let out one final, shaky crow. It wasn't his loudest, but it was his most meaningful. It was the sound of victory. This incredible story shows us that courage isn't about size or strength. It's about what you're willing to fight for. Raki the rooster, a simple farm bird, stared down one of nature's most perfect predators and refused to back down, all to protect his family. It's a powerful reminder that heroes can come in the most unexpected packages. What an amazing display of bravery. Thanks for watching this epic tale of feathers and fury. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. We've got more amazing animal encounters coming your way. See you next time.